The Lego Movie 2, the second part, recently came out on DVD, and uh, here's my quick little review of it. Now, don't get me wrong, along with many people, I loved the first Lego Movie. I mean, while I haven't seen it probably the 50 plus times that everyone else has, kind of, don't get me wrong, I love this movie. Just because I haven't seen the 50 plus times everyone else has, that's why it hasn't necessarily made onto my favourite movies list in the past few years. But don't get me wrong, I loved the first Lego movie. It was probably one of the most violent films that we'd seen in a while, but watching it through, it had fun with it. It was fun. The human moments at the end, give the live action segments, everyone says they're brilliant, they are, and it was a great film. And while I didn't go to see the original Lego movie in theaters at the time it was in theaters, we only saw it later on DVD. After that, I did actually make an effort to go to the cinema to see the Lego Batman movie, which once again was a ton of fun. Maybe not quite as good as the Lego movie, but still it was fun. I didn't go to see Lego Ninjago, purely because I felt Lego Batman was kind of fun enough that I felt, yeah, I can get into this. Lego Ninjago, I thought, maybe not. But when they kind of started showing trailers for the Lego Movie 2, the second part, I kind of remained curious. I thought, okay, it looks like they've got some good ideas. So I thought to myself, I'll wait and see how it does, kind of with critics and such. And the movie came, and the movie went, and I didn't go to see it in theaters. I don't know. I just the reception around it seemed to be very mixed. And going for a look at the trailers, I thought it looked okay, but I don't know. Maybe there was just something about it that maybe just didn't quite live up to it. I mean, the big thing at the end of the first movie was the kind of live action segments with Will Ferrell and his character's son and them kind of working through it. That was the kind of big thing. Whereas it was evident from the trailers that from now on it was going to be pretty obvious what was happening in the human world. I mean, the trailers, for example, specifically gave away kind of parts of the plot of the characters being kidnapped and being sent to the Sistar system, ruled by Queen Whatever Wanabe. So, yeah, maybe it was just kind of quite obvious what they were trying to do at the time. Shouldn't necessarily make it bad, but I don't know. But it finally came out recently on DVD. I bought it, sat down, slotted it in, gave it a go, and I'll be honest with you, I felt it was going to slide into the trap that you know, most second movies fall into, which is that they're good, but they're maybe not as good as the first one. It was going to be like that. I've got to point to this, and this happens with quite a few movies. I mean, there are some movies that do kind of get better on the second installment. For example, look at Star Wars with The Empire Strikes Back. Many people agree The Empire Strikes Back is better than New Hope. But with quite a lot of movies, you do get occasions where the second one is good, just not quite as good as the first one. For example, you got one of my favourite film franchises, Kingsman. With Kingsman, while I did enjoy The Golden Circle, I did like The Golden Circle, to me it wasn't quite as good as The Secret Service, which I frankly loved, and as you know was in either number 2 or the number 1 spot on my top 10 favourite movies list. It's the same with the Avengers. Kind of the first Avengers movie, it was a spectacle, it was something to see. Whereas with Age of Ultron, while I do love Age of Ultron, it it does kind of feel like it wasn't quite as good as the Avengers. I mean, Infinity War and Endgame, don't get me wrong, those are spectacles. But give Age of Ultron, maybe just a step below the rest. But anyway, that's kind of what I felt when I first slotted into Lego Movie 2. I kind of felt throughout most of it, I thought, that's okay. Maybe not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty good. That is until I got to the final 15 minutes. Because let me tell you, I think the final 15 minutes of this film is on par with the first one. Trust me on this, because, yeah, the final 15 minutes, while the human segments are once again kind of scattered throughout the movie and you can get a sense of what's going on throughout all of it, the last 15 minutes they kind of focus squarely on the kind of human side of it, and I do kind of feel it brings back a point of my childhood that we all feel that we've left behind, but that reminds you of it, and it's quite sad but also quite happy at the same time. But I'm going to go into spoilers here, I'm sorry, but in order to talk about it this way, I have to. So, with the last kind of 15 minutes, as I say, our mom, the kind of story kind of revolves around the coming of Armageddon, and basically in the human world, the brother and the sister, Finn and Bianca, they end up having a fight after Finn destroys one of Bianca's Lego creations, and their mother kind of finally puts her foot down and says, right, you need to disassemble all your Lego stuff, both of you, put it into storage, we're going to put it away. If you can't play nice, you can't play with it at all. And we kind of, that's shown in the Lego world of the kind of characters finally coming to Armageddon, falling into a black void and seemingly about to accept non-existence. But then, kind of as Finn is kind of breaking up his kind of pieces to go away, he looks at the sets that his sister had, through which she built her world, and he realizes that the original pieces were from a Lego heart that he had built for her when she first started playing with Lego. And the kind of Lego heart is the kind of important kind of piece throughout the entire movie. But then kind of when he sees that, he kind of goes back upstairs, kind of knocks on his sister's door, sits beside her, and then once again presents her with the Lego heart, which is then kind of mends the bond between them, and is then kind of represented in the Lego world by the characters kind of escaping the black void and going off to save Emmett, who's kind of in trouble with a future version of himself. Yeah, I'm not going to say the plot isn't crazy, but just those last 15 minutes of a brother and sister kind of coming together, realising they've done wrong, and kind of bonding over something that they loved so much, that hit me hard. I mean, as I said, I was ready to just slot it into the kind of category of, it's good, the first one was better, maybe. But then those last 15 minutes, they broke me. Because this kind of put it a step up. Maybe it's still not entirely on the level of the first Lego movie, but if I'd said before the Lego movie was about here and the sequel was about here, with those last 15 minutes, it stepped up to about there. I will admit that those last 15 minutes can't make up for the entire movie, which the entire movie is okay. It's pretty good, yeah. But trust me, those last 15 minutes, they elevate it, and I do think they're on par with the kind of moments in the kind of original film where the live action segment, it makes it work. I mean, as I said, I was so ready to put the Lego Movie 2 into the same category of, okay, but the last 15 minutes, they level it up to pretty good, yeah. So, on the whole, I feel the Lego Movie 2, I feel it's a decent sequel. Once again, maybe not quite on the same level as the first film, but it had some good points. I mean, I will admit, they did kind of take out a personal favourite character from the first film, which was Liam Neeson as Bad Cop. With my family, he was kind of a personal favourite, but he does appear briefly in the second one. He's only there for about a second. But I feel they could have done more with him, but if he wasn't essential to the plot, maybe not. But you know what? Lego Movie 2, I think it's pretty good. If anyone would ask if I would recommend it, I'd say sure. But there you go, my quick little review of the Lego Movie 2, the second part. I hope they do continue with the series, and maybe someday we'll see a part 3. Until then, let's hope for more. See ya.